Hey everybody, got a new post out. Thought I'd do a quick video on this. The post is called The Extravagant Emerging Market. It's going to be a two-parter. Part one's up now. The idea here is that Trump is all about America first, and that implies that we're going to basically suck up growth from the rest of the world. And in my opinion, that's going to be successful. But what nobody's really talking about is that Trump is going to run what I think of as a emerging market playbook on the rest of the world. Now, this makes a lot of sense, actually, because the U.S. has a lot of emerging market characteristics, such as raging populism, political polarization, poor infrastructure, high debt, and large and increasing fiscal deficits, and extreme wealth inequality. I mean, Elon Musk's net worth just passed $350 billion. What's yours? So what's this playbook? And, what's the traditional playbook and what is Trump talking about? So the traditional playbook is a few things: infrastructure development or infrastructure investment. Trump wanted to do a $2 trillion infrastructure deal during his first term. That got shot down because the Democrats were doing the first impeachment or trying to impeach him. That's not going to happen this time. And of course, we're going to have to scale that up for inflation. So let's just say $3 trillion of fiscal spending inbound under Trump. Deregulation, that's a big part of the emerging market playbook. That's already happening. Trump's out there thirst trap posting on Truth Social about how if anybody invests $1 billion in the U.S., those pesky regulations are going to go away. Foreign direct investment, that's what a big part of this is about. Let's get those offshore dollars coming in to start up factories in the U.S. Export-led growth, okay, that's the tariffs. So Trump is actually the first president since Kennedy to seriously worry about the trade balance. So that's what the tariffs are. If we're running a big trade deficit with a country, well, welcome to 50% tariffs on everything. And if you really want to play hard, we'll take them up from there. We'll see how that works out, but that's the playbook. And then kind of hand in glove with that is striking trade agreements, usually these smaller deals instead of these big deals, bilateral trade agreements. And Trump's already met with leaders of Mexico and Canada to redo the deal that he already redid the last time. Anyway, that's how it's going to go. If you had a deal, it's time to renegotiate. And then support innovation and technology adoption. So we've got crypto AI czars in the White House. We got tech bros walking around the West Wing slinging policy like they were $15 pizzas. Gonna be wild. Let's see what happens. So anyway, this idea of the U.S. as an emerging market is, I think, a really helpful playbook. And to get your head around it, maybe we just kind of think about what the U.S. is. So the U.S. has tech champions. We got rule of law, okay, mostly. The world's reserve currency. We got the world's reserve asset. We've got the world's biggest consumer market. If you want to negotiate with us, you don't have really much to go on. And we got a billionaire in the White House who's installing other billionaires all up and down. I've written about this, like 3/4 of his appointments so far are billionaires. So say what you want about billionaires, but these people are successful. They're serious. They've built companies, and by God, they're serious about growth in the U.S. And that's what it's all about. There's no way to pay off the debt. That's a pipe dream. So just forget about anything. Anybody talking about that is not serious. So you should just turn that off. The only way to do this is to grow the U.S., to increase growth. We've been doing a pretty good job of that. Biden did a good job of that. And we had good growth under Trump the first go round. Obviously, we had COVID at the end of Trump, beginning of Biden. Anyway, that's the whole playbook, is we're going to grow GDP in the U.S., and that way the debt to GDP ratio will go down. Pretty simple. And by the way, that works. So the U.S. is already the best place in the world to invest, but we're going to do all this other stuff to make it even more bester. Trump's already fast tracking, as I said, anybody who wants to invest in the U.S., and they're going to get regulatory indulgences to pollute the water or whatever else they want to do. That's coming. The rest of the world, boy, not looking good. Going to be tough for them to attract capital when they compete with the extravagant emerging market, which is the U.S. So let's just go through the rest of the world real quick. China, slow motion economic train wreck, but you can't look away. It's fascinating. There's no way out for them. And China comes with a side dish of probably capital confiscation and war. And also currency devaluation at some point. Europe, completely sclerotic economy and social structure, demographic decline, which although China has demographic decline as well, and Europe is incapable of making any hard decisions to reduce social transfers and invest in itself. Latin America, a mix of whacked out clown show governments, and at least in part, a lot of those countries are facing the wrath of Trump's war on illegal immigration. Although we did find out that legal immigration is actually beneficial, and Trump is all over that, which seemed to have angered some of the faithful. Let's see, in Africa, coup central. There's been 6 or 7 coups in the last 2-3 years, and now that Russia can't even keep Syria, intact, where it had multiple military bases for years, like decades. Africa's just going to come apart, man. Now, parts of Latin America and Africa could be beneficiaries of inflation whenever that comes back, which is probably soon. But really the way to play that is through U.S. Commodity firms. Believe me, Alcoa knows more about how to navigate these foreign countries than you do, and so does Freeport-McMoRan and all the rest of them. So Japan has a decent growth trajectory, could have yen appreciation if JGB yields continue to rise. Not super dynamic, but that may be viable, which really leaves one shining beacon on the hill, which is the U.S. So as far as I look at things, I can see a virtuous cycle. You have rising rates and or rising dollar attracting capital, which fuels the investment boom, which rockets investment returns, which attracts more capital, which sends rates and the dollar higher, which fuels the investment boom. You can see how this goes. And this is exactly what happened, just to go back to the Asian tigers in the mid to late 90s. But there's a key difference, and that is that the U.S., as an emerging market, borrows in its own currency, and those Asian tigers were borrowing in dollars, so things got away from them quickly. The pattern historically has been, in an emerging market, the hot money comes in, and that can last years and years, but man, the day it reverses, money flows out, it goes bad really quickly. EM countries figured this out, and they've actually tried to stop hot money inflows and or slow them down, because they have been through this rodeo many times, and it usually ends in economic disaster, and sometimes with 3 guys in camouflage running the country. Now, Trump's going to do no such thing as far as slowing things down. He's going to pump your bags instead of pumping the brakes. And the idea here, just in general, is to accelerate out of trouble. That's how you should think about this. We're not going to slow down and rubberneck at countries that have crashed and are on the side of the global economic highway. Okay. Hope that was helpful. I'm going to have part 2 of this tomorrow, looking at the cost, because selling the benefits first here, not the costs. We're going to talk about the costs tomorrow, and also the economic and investment implications. Thank you.